Hey, we were actually here. Sorry, the guys in the chat room or the people in the chat room. I apologize. I see Martin and Raymond and Julio have been wondering where we were. This couldn't be Tesla Talks podcast if we're on time, right? Thanks for joining us. Let's, you know what? I've waited long enough. I would say normally I'd say like, let's wait a few minutes before we start, but I've done this to you guys, so I'm not going to do that. So let's just start. You guys good to start? My
Yeah, let's
panel?
do it.
Yeah. And if any other stragglers come in late, I'll just bring them in. Welcome to the Tesla Talks podcast, folks, for the month of February. This is not intentionally. Let me just bring this one guy in before. Normally, I was going to say we usually don't always do it monthly or weekly. Originally, we wanted to start out weekly, but now it's turned in by default. Like I said, not intentionally, but it's turned into a monthly podcast, which I'm fine with. Are you guys okay with that? I mean, are you guys okay with me paying you monthly?
I'm deeply offended.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Franklin, we are live, so just so you know, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, just so you don't, this.
Yeah, or anything.
Yeah.
Well,
or
there's
worse.
comments saying I'm late. I texted Dax and he didn't reply to me, so that's why I'm late.
Let me check my phone.
Look, he's looking now. He's like, wait a second.
Sorry, he did text me. Sorry, when you text me at 3 minutes to, I'm getting everything ready. I can't look at it. Anyways,
people are going to pause. They're going to pause when they replay this, and they're going to see Franklin's home phone number or mobile number now.
It doesn't show up? No, it doesn't show up, luckily. And if it does, oh well.
It's just a fake cell number I gave Dax.
What?
It's a burner number.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt it either. Let me give you guys the rundown of who's on the show. If you haven't watched before, you may not know, but if you watched before, I'm sure you probably know. And then we'll get into the news, and then what should I do, guys? I know I've labeled this podcast the big announcement. Should I just draw it on till the end of the night and tease them?
No, do it at the beginning.
Do it at the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to rearrange my whole thing then. Okay, anyways, let me just do the intros. That person I was just talking that was ruining my whole lineup there, his name is Franklin, also known as Mother Frunker. Welcome to the show.
Also known as Drive Tesla Canada.
Yeah, I know. He every week he's got a different bumper or whatever it's called, lower third. So, you know what? We're going to call him whatever we call him. It doesn't matter. He'll make it up. Darren, our usual guest and a good buddy of ours, he may be offended, but, we'll leave that up to Darren.
I'm an avid writer.
Technically, Franklin does work for them, so.
I do.
He's done 2.
Nope, 4.
You know what? Is it bad that I knew it was 4, but I said 2 just to make it look worse?
Wait. I have the longest article ever written on Drive Tesla Canada. Fun fact.
Fun fact. I apologize as I'm sipping my drink. If you guys have drinks, feel free to drink them as you listen or watch the show. Paul's got one. I don't know. Dan and Franklin have one, or if they just have like a regular water or some kind of, libation. Whatever floats your boat. It's been one of those days. I figured I needed a drink. Who else do we have left? We have Paul. Paul showed me his drink, so I got to use Paul next. Paul, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Paul is from. You know what? I don't want to screw this up, and I don't know if you've made it official. So.
Yeah, no. It's Tesla Canuck is now Electric Canuck. I'm adding a Rivian to my EV collection. I am not selling any of my Teslas. Love my Teslas, not selling, but I am adding a Rivian. So I just changed my name, Electric Canuck. Same old guy, same channel.
Same great content.
No,
probably better content with the different, flavors of EVs. So yeah,
like you get why not, right?
Yeah, you'll get the Rivian for like 6 months, and then you'll get like a Lucid, and then you'll get like a Faraday, and then you'll get a Hyundai, and then you'll get no day.
Sorry, did you say Faraday? I don't think that's going to happen.
You know what? I was browsing today looking for articles, and one was on electric about Faraday testing some prototype, and I was just like,
And
skip.
and was it Fisker? Fisker? Don't forget about Fisker.
Don't forget about Fisker. Yeah, we'll get to that. Dan from Northern Tesla, welcome to the show.
Thanks
Dan.
for having me.
Are you wearing one of your hockey jerseys again today? Or
No,
t-shirts?
it's actually Jurassic Park.
Oh, cool, Jurassic
So I
Park.
wanted to do red just to fit in a bit.
Oh, nice. Franklin, what t-shirt of choice do you have? Or is it even worth showing? Oh, look at that, Cybertruck. And then I've got my own personal swag right there. So
Which you can buy soon at
no.
teslatalks.com/swag.
/ Drive Tesla Canada.
Use Drive Tesla Canada to get your discount now.
90% off discount. Okay, you know what? Thanks for the people in the chat for joining us. We have, like I said, we have Raymond, Martin, Tesla Raj. Whoa, look at that. Hey, Raj, what's going on? And a few other people that, you know what? I've been neglecting the chat as we've been going along, so I apologize for that.
People think I'm rich, but I don't have DAX money. You want to talk rich, you got to talk DAX. And we all joke that we wish we had DAX money.
You know what? They actually do joke. These bastards. They do make that joke. I don't know why. Like, I don't know where that even came from. Like, obviously it was some kind of original joke at some point, but
Must be the Roadster in your Tesla account.
it's the furthest thing from the truth. Please.
Yeah, it was that time I was like shoulder surfing you, and you were on your bank mobile app, and there were like 8 figures.
Ooh.
It wasn't the time where we were stranded in our cars with no heat, and I started burning my $100 bills to stay warm. It wasn't that time.
Is that the big announcement you have, Dax?
Right.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it.
No.
All right.
No, because I said, Frank.
All right, we should start actually, because
we can't even. Well, we're just having fun. But yeah, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about. You know what? I'm going to do a new thing. We get right into the news, and we will, and we are sort of like. Okay. We usually get into the news, and we pick one article, or 2 or 3 or 4 articles, and we talk about it, and we go around the whole panel, and we see what everyone's opinion is on it, which we will do. But what I thought I'd do today, because it's been a month and there's been so much news in Tesla land, that I figured and we won't talk about it. I mean, by all means, guys, if you want to make a comment, the guys in the panel or even the people in the chat room, if you want to make a comment about what I mentioned in the news, feel free to, and we can chat about it. But I don't expect you guys to. I won't ask you guys to comment. Just interrupt me by all means. As I'm basically going to do 3 or 4 articles and just go through them in rapid succession, that type of thing. So the first one, we're just going to talk about, you know what? This what happened. I heard about this earlier in the week, and then I heard about it more today. They were looking for a new, I remember, was it the earnings call that Elon talked about? They'll be starting to look for a new Gigafactory somewhere in the world, and they'll make an announcement by the end of the year or something like that. Well, rumor is it's going to be in China again, and it's a no-brainer in my opinion to make it in China. I mean, and the only surprising thing I think is that it's going to be it's going to be in Shanghai. It's going to be right next to the existing Shanghai plant, Gigafactory. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And they're expecting, if they do this, if rumors are the same, they're expecting 2 million units per year coming out of China. That's mind-blowing.
Now, that's going to be for local and export, or just for the local market?
No, I think that, right now they're doing export, right? They're doing export, but they're doing local, and they've got way more demand than they can keep up with, just like here in North America. So I think it'll be a bit of both. I don't know. Or maybe, do you think maybe they'll just devote one plant to local and another plant to to exporting? Who knows?
I think China is now the largest market, isn't it, for cars, or still the U.S.?
No, I think it's China.
So it makes sense.
Definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Although I would like them to, open one up here north in Canada. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and that might be the, who knows? You know what? It's
cold weather testing.
Our exchange rate. Yeah, that's heat pumps. Yeah, I I'm going to try to make a commitment tonight on this show to not have a topic with the heat pump. Let's try not to talk about the heat pump. Put it this way. Let's do a drinking game, Paul. After I say
I'll lose.
this word, after I say this word, we don't talk about it for the rest of the night. And if someone says heat pump, you have to drink something, right? We'll do that. So that's the
Or
last
give
time
Dax
$1
million.
What if there's questions in the comments about the heat pump? Is that acceptable?
I'm starting out already, Franklin. Yeah, that's acceptable.
Like, Martin already said that he loves me more than you, Dax. Or he knows I love them.
Yeah. Okay. Our second
It's like enough.
Our second topic that we're going to just, breeze by really quickly here is Elon and the SEC. It's escalating, folks. It's escalating to the point now where, I don't know. Is it just me, or do you think maybe he's taking it personally? I don't know. Along with this article, another article came out just before we went to air talking about how they're investigating Elon now and his brother, Kimball, for insider trading from when he sold off his stocks to pay taxes or something like that. So this goes back to Elon accusing them last week or the week before of SEC leaking information to the media and stuff like that. It's getting pretty ugly. But
it feels like a witch hunt to me.
Oh yeah,
right?
if you listen to what Elon and the lawyers are saying, and this, I know we're all Tesla fans. I know we're all Elon fans for the most part. Not everything he says, but for the most part,
99%.
yeah. So I try to be unbiased when I hear this kind of thing, and I stand back and I look at the bigger picture, and yeah, it does look like they are definitely targeting him. I don't know. I think just yesterday he had said, or yesterday, the day before, in a tweet, he said, "I didn't start this fight, but I will finish it." Replying to a guy on Twitter saying that starting a fight with the SEC is not a great look. So defending himself and, I guess entrenching himself in that battle. We'll have to see what comes.
I think like most government regulatory bodies, I think the SEC is probably about 20 years behind on technology and understanding how the world works today, right?
Yeah.
Before back in the day, press releases, paper news articles, they really don't know what to do with social media and disclosure and stuff like that. So times are changing. I think Elon's a big target, and they've gone after him to try to figure out what they're going to do around regulatory controls in today's world, right?
Yeah. And it doesn't help, or you almost can't blame the SEC for going after him when he taunts them publicly.
I'm sure it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help. He's in a battle of words with them as of late. But even before that, remember right after the whole 420 thing and the ruling of he had to pay 20 million and Tesla had to pay 20 million. Right after that, there was some tweet, and I don't have it handy here, but there was some tweet that he put out just like mocking the SEC, like just cutting them up in public. But yeah, speaking of that 20 million and then 20 million from Tesla, that's 40 million. His lawyers put together something last week saying, accusing the SEC of hey, what are you doing with that money? You've sat on it for.
That is a very valid question.
Yeah, because that money was supposed to come back to the shareholders, which is, I don't know who's shareholders in this panel or in the chat group, but if you are, that money is yours. Now
it's been 2.5 years, hasn't it?
It's been 2.5 years.
A long time ago.
Yeah. So you got to wonder, $40 million is the money? Is the SEC sitting on that and just collecting interest? Of course they are, right?
It'll probably be peanuts for them, but
they're trying to make it into a subscription service. That's why they're after him again. But Martin brings up a good point. He said it's not a real accusation because they call it insider trading when Elon's pretty public about it on Twitter. So there's no real insider trading when it's all public, right?
See, and this is getting back to Paul's point, right? They're calling it the only thing that they have that they know that they could call it, but really, in today's social media and technology surrounded world, like, is it exactly like what Martin's saying? Like, is it like, can it not be insider trading anymore because of our technology and because Elon is saying it? Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. And go ahead.
I was going to say it's kind of similar to the whole Tesla recall thing, right?
We're going to get to that. We're going to
stuck on terminology is what I was trying to go for. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off or stop you and not give you free speech or anything and inhibits your freedoms or anything. But that's an actual topic that I want to get to. So save all your
transition.
Sorry?
I think he was trying to do a transition.
No, but we're not going there yet. I like his transitions usually, and I usually commend him for it.
Honestly, that wasn't my intention.
Oh, that wasn't a segue? Okay. Well, then I'm just stifling you, okay?
Let's just put this conversation in reverse.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. That's a good segue, Franklin. Reverse summon. Now, I won't have it because I don't have FSD, but you guys have FSD, so are you guys excited about this? It's supposed to be coming, and there's going to be 3 different modes.
Yeah, I'm excited because of the modes. If there was no modes, I'd probably never use it, because if it just parked the closest spot, I would never do that. But if it's giving me the option to go further the back of the lot, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Who here does that? I go way to the back.
Me too. I do. Else? But do you guys? Franklin?
Go ahead, Dax.
No, I was just gonna say, tell me if you guys do the same thing, because I think Franklin's gonna say he does the same thing. So I'm pretty sure it's unanimous that we go to the back as much as we can. I mean, if it's like a blizzard and you happen to be outside, you may not go to the back.
I go to the back.
Do you go to the back? Well, I try to, but my kids and my wife, sometimes I have to drop them off and then go. Anyways, but I find that when I go to the back, I'll find the furthest spot. Nobody's around. I could like throw a ball in 360-degree direction and nobody's going to be around. But when I come back, there's always some guy or car. I say guy, but car that's right next to me. Not like the next one over, but it's right next to me. It's like, what's up with that? That drives me nuts.
And the whole lot's completely empty.
Exactly.
Except for the one guy next to you.
It's like when you were in high school and you were, out on a date or something, you're making out in the car in the middle of nowhere and someone just comes and parks right next to you. Usually it's a cop. But...
I love your segment.
Sounds like a very specific example you got there.
Not that it happened to me.
No. See, that's a problem. That's the part you had wrong, Franklin. It wasn't an example. It was a flashback.
Okay.
Flashback.
It's like it happened yesterday. There's a flashlight too involved.
Truthfully, to answer your question before, I use Smart Summon probably more than anyone here. I'll use it anywhere.
Cybertruck, yeah, it's because it's ding proof, right?
My car is ding proof.
Well, it's not.
Don't
you can't throw a ball at it.
That.
Okay, so quickly, the 3 modes they're going to have, reading this article, if you're watching at home, you can read it, but if you're listening, mode 1 is going to be closest to the door, not for me. Mode number 2 is near cart returns, for those who like to live on the edge, I guess. But you know what? Sometimes the place where the carts go back is not a bad spot, because now you've just cut your door dings percentages in half.
No, you don't think so? Would I park there?
No, I've done it. I've done it because
people throw their carts towards those things and they miss sometimes.
Yeah, and then it hits your bumper, I guess. So you rather a door ding or a bumper ding? I don't know.
I don't know. But you know what I do want to do is I want to go to when this thing comes out, I want to go to a Costco and I want to select closest to the door and just stand back and film it.
It'll be chaotic. Well, Franklin's going to do it for sure.
I already use Smart Summon in Costco, so I'll test that. No problem.
Yeah. And the last mode, just to cut you guys off, is the end of parking lot. So people that don't want boardings. But
that's the one for me.
Yeah, me too. But I'm just wondering at the end of the day, is this going to actually work? Or is this going to be a stupid party trick like Smart Summon is now? Because, yeah, Franklin, I know you boast about it and you use it a lot and you like it. But honestly, it doesn't work that well.
Okay,
it
so
just pisses people off.
No, look, I'll be the first one to say it. As much as I used it, it is a dumb party trick.
Yeah.
I just enjoy my parties each day that I use it, right? The biggest problem with it is, so when Tesla was basically, Elon said, "Hey, we're going to get Smart Summon," and he tweeted about it, and the poor engineers were like, "Okay, we got to do this now." They didn't they basically built Smart Summon from the ground up. It's using its own stack, software stack, which was a huge waste of resources. It doesn't make sense to me. So pretty much all the code for Smart Summon they're basically wiping out, and eventually the big rewrite that they keep talking about is to combine everything. So
Sorry, which rewrite?
What's that? Sorry.
Which rewrite?
Well, I think this is the third one in the last like 4 years or something. But the one that they're working on now is basically to combine city driving, highway driving, and parking lot driving, Smart Summon, all into one. So hopefully the reverse summon is a part of the rewrite where it's one standard, because your curb detection, just general driving will be vastly better than what we have currently. So if that's the case, then it will be more than a party trick. If it's not the case, then honestly, I don't know what they're doing at Tesla, because it's a huge waste of resources to code something, then delete it all just to rewrite it again into a new rewrite. So I guess it depends. We'll wait to see, right? But
supposedly it is going to be on the same stack.
Yeah, but and just because it's on the same stack doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like magical to start. It just means when they improve in one area, it'll help improve in other areas, right?
Mm-hmm. But I've seen some Smart Summons with the FSD beta, and they're a lot better than what we have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a little bit better.
Thanks for the segue. What's your name, Dan? Thanks for the segue, Dan.
You
buddy guy. No. Hey, anyone that knows me fairly well knows that my memory is shot. I don't even know where I am right now. I'm just kidding. FSD beta. Speaking of which, guys, how many people are on the panel today? Count.
4.
1.
That's how many days left. Thanks, Dan. That's how many days left to have Elon fulfill his. Should I even call it a problem? You think so? You think it's going to happen on the 28th?
I think it's going to be February 28th, 11:59 p.m., but it's going to happen.
I think maybe he meant February 29th, and we're not getting that till next year. So maybe that's why.
How do I?
It's not. I can see Elon now. It's not a leap year.
I'm not
wrong.
I
had an extra day.
It's not a leap year. Dax, can you pull up my screen, please?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
I do not think it's coming this month. I'll be the first one to say it.
Really? I thought you were optimistic.
No.
Yeah.
You asked me on the last podcast if it was coming this month, and I said no. And that was like a month ago. We have November 26th, hopefully next month. December. Subtle important differences.
Franklin's
March
infamous
6th.
Timeline.
Yep. Yes. By the way, as Franklin goes through this, he made this timeline in what is it? Java? You made this in?
No, it's just JavaScript. It's not. Okay, so this timeline actually came. So this one came from the original one. This is just the FSD beta, like just a regular thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is the Canadian one. So if you follow the Canadian one, which I have more than I should, you learn that him saying this month doesn't mean anything. I mean, you should know that anyway because it's Elon.
We should.
Right. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic or anything. It's just the realist approach is it's not coming this month. I would be shocked if it didn't come next month. Or wouldn't be shocked.
Ordinarily, I would agree with you, but he said it 3 times.
Doesn't matter, Dan.
And the last time he said it was Noah, a friend of the podcast, asked him, and he said yes. Not maybe, not subtle differences. Sometime soon. He said, "Is it coming in February?" Yes. And that was a week ago, so you should know if it's going to come in February.
But what was Noah asking? Was he asking?
Is it still on track for February?
What is what on track? Is horse racing?
If FSD is still on track for Canada.
Hold on.
Is the Olympics on track for February?
But did he say February 2022?
Well, no, he didn't say that.
No, see, there's the thing.
Hold on. Can we backtrack for a sec, guys? Dan, you're right.
True,
but how many times did he say that from beta 8.3? Because 8.3 to 9 was like a year stretch. It was like a long break in between of updates. How many times did he mention 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks? And that was like 6 months of 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's true. Good point. This guy, he's saying that he hopes it doesn't come because he doesn't want the price to go up, which I agree. Like, I mean, I wouldn't buy it myself. If I did do it, I'd dabble in the subscription service, but that's just me. I mean, I see why people don't want it to come because they want to hold off that increase. But that's a question for you guys.
If you have an existing order, won't they honor the FSD price at the time of order?
Yeah. Should do. They should.
They should.
They should, but I don't know if they do.
If they place it while they ordered.
Yeah, if they placed it, and if you haven't, you can always update your order now to include FSD if you're worried about it.
And it's also not a good clue because usually in the US, when they were about to go full beta, Elon did
full beta
mode. Elon did tweet that was going to be a price increase. So we haven't got that tweet yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, he gave them a week, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
He gave them a week.
Yeah.
And it coincided with the release of a wide release of the beta. So
yeah. Well, you know what? We got 4 days. I mean, by the time you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to it after the fact on a streaming podcast service or something like that, which, by the way, it's available on all streaming podcasts, but if you're listening to it, you already know that. But anyways, by the time you listen to this, February may have come and gone, and you'll know whether we have it or not.
I think maybe there's a chance we get the safety score by the end of February, maybe.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, they haven't even set up.
Think about it.
That would be set up too.
That could easily be
downloaded
in the next 4 days.
This could really hurt Elon's reputation.
You're kidding? You're laughing. Oh, I can't believe you said that with a straight face, Paul.
Well,
no, listen, we all know we're all Elon fans for the most part, like I said earlier.
yeah, we like ribbing him.
And we like ribbing him. He's like a buddy, right? Like you're friends with your buddy still, but any chance you get, you like laughing at them, right? And is there anything more funny than seeing your friend get hurt? Like without like critically or anything, but like I think it's the funniest thing when my buddies get hurt. Isn't
that what Jackass was?
yeah. I guess that's what
we would never do that to you. We always think highly of you and want the best for you.
Yeah.
For
those who don't know, we joke around a lot.
Yes. This is why I have these jackasses on the show. Speaking of jackasses. Oh, great! Now I have to make this YouTube video not for kids. Way to go!
Hey, so
Jackass? Can't say jackass.
It's a
donkey.
It's a horse. Yeah.
Are we moving on to our next topic? Because I actually have some interesting information if you want to discuss it.
Regarding FSD still?
No, our next topic.
Oh, yeah. I was just bringing this up just for a quick little thing to say, hey, we talk about the media talks about all of Tesla's recalls, and we'll get to that in a second. But look, Lucid Motors recalling over 200 Air EVs. Now, I think they only have.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, it's probably all of them.
200 doesn't sound a lot like, but it's the entire fleet.
Yeah, but my point is, you're not seeing this here in where we're all from here. You're not seeing this on CP24, which is is like the CNN of Toronto. You're not seeing this on CP24 like you did with all the Tesla ones. How come?
No.
There's a Honda one actually for 1.7 million of them. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
No, is that the airbag one that's been going on for 2 decades?
I believe it's brakes. It's something to do with brakes, but don't quote me.
You don't need brakes. Come on.
Yeah, you just don't stop.
It's freaking out about.
But I'm just saying, 1.7 million of them, and that's an actual recall. Have you guys heard about that on the news? It's not a software update.
No, actually, no. It's the first time you mentioning it here. It's the first time I've ever heard about it.
Yep. So
even the Chevy Bolts catching fire didn't really make the news that much.
Maybe it didn't really happen. Maybe it's just a ploy.
It's all about clickbait now, and Tesla's the biggest clickbait word out there.
100%.
So.
Absolutely. See these 5 Lucid Airs in the picture here? All recalled.
So for those who are wondering, I got some interesting information about Lucid if you guys are interested
that's
to know.
good dish.
All right, so Yorkdale, if you're in the Greater Toronto area, is opening up in the next 2 or 3 weeks, where you can actually go and view the Lucid car. Test drives will be this summer. They are not sure about the test drives yet. If you do not buy Dream Drive Pro, which is I think it's 11,000 Canadian, you cannot buy it after the fact. So,
What?
Oh, wow, really?
so it includes the hardware for their level 3 autonomy. So if you do not buy it up front, you're not getting the hardware for level 3 autonomy. They will not add it to your car afterwards. It's not like Tesla. They're not including the hardware if you're not buying it.
How much was that?
11,600.
So is 11 that is that for the software or the hardware as well?
It's for the hardware as well. They were actually just briefed today about Dream Drive and Dream Drive Pro and what the differences are and what they contain. Basically, Dream Drive is almost identical to what Autopilot delivers, with a few other things like pedestrian warnings and stuff like that, and reverse pedestrian warnings. But it's pretty much identical packaging to Tesla, from like Dream Drive to Dream Drive Pro.
2 LiDAR units, though, right?
Correct. Yeah. The Grand Touring deliveries will be happening in Canada this summer, and the Touring trim is expected by the fall. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys.
Thank you, Lucid Drive Canada.
Hey, I gave it to Darren this morning. I'm like, hey, buddy, if you want an article, here you go.
That's good news. That's good news because, I mean, we're Tesla Talks, but as you know, we're talking about different things. We talked about the Chevy Bolt, or Volt, or whatever it was. We talked about Honda.
Rivian.
We talked about Rivian. Paul's Rivian. Yeah, we even talked about Faraday Future. so no, that's good. Now, okay, I'll first start by saying, yeah, I think Autopilot was a stupid name to name their car because it's misleading. Full self-driving is a stupid name to name the service because it's misleading. But nope, I don't hear any, and everyone else comments, all the Tesla Qs and everything say the same thing, but I don't hear anyone saying Dream Drive. That's a stupid name. Does that not, when you hear that, does that not tell you or suggest to you that they're trying to promote sleeping while you're driving? Dream Drive? They might as well named it Sleep Drive.
I mean, yeah, you're right. My original thought on it, I thought it was a dumb name, but I know why they're doing it because it kind of corresponds with their whole Lucid theming, like Lucid Dreams.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, exactly. That's why there's a Dream Edition and everything. But
all there's an interesting article actually that I've been like, I follow the autonomous vehicle industry fairly closely. There's a lot of really neat stuff going on outside of just Tesla in terms of like testing and what people are doing and stuff like that. It's kind of neat, or not neat, but it's interesting to see that the industry as a whole is removing like full self-drive or self-driving, just the term self-driving, from anything that they're doing. So they want like autonomous vehicle. They don't want to have self-driving for whatever reason. So like industry-wide. So as far as I know, Tesla's the only one that has self-driving.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean,
polluted clues.
No, yeah, Hockey Dad's saying the same thing. I was thinking of before you started talking about that. Yeah, they're all dumb. I'm trying to think of one that. What's Coma AI's name for theirs? Do you remember? Did they have a name, or is it just autonomous driving?
Coma AI. Yeah, it's just they don't have one.
I thought they named it.
Yeah.
George Drive.
I mean,
we'll call it George Driving.
George Drive.
Yeah, I mean, George Drive.
Some of the more interesting companies, I don't think they have names for theirs, like AutoX, which is a neat company. You have Cruise doing cool stuff.
Yeah, AutoX, I've heard of that.
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen AutoX, go check out some of their stuff. It's kind of crazy.
That's the Chinese one, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
what about Blue Cruise? Is that a good name?
No.
Super Cruise.
Super Cruise, Blue Cruise. I mean, yeah, I guess you either have to name it with the word drive in it or the word cruise in it.
On the whole naming thing, is Cruise the dumbest name out of all of them? And hear me out, because you have the car Cruise, then you have Cruise, which is like on the Cadillac version, or is that Super Cruise? Then they have
Super
Ultra
Cruise.
Cruise, which is coming on certain vehicles. Then they have their company Cruise, which is doing actual autonomous driving. So they have like 4 different entities of Cruise within the same company. That means totally different things.
You missed one. Then
I'm
there's Tom
confused.
Cruise. Dad joke.
And then there's
I'm
Com
done.
Trues.
He beat you. Someone beat you to it there.
Oh, some damn son of
In
a.
the chat.
Oh, I can't wait for Top Gun, by the way. Just putting that out there if they ever do release it in 2027. This is not Top Gun talks, so we'll move right along. But the reason I brought up and I know Franklin added some stuff to it and gave us some nice updates about the Lucid. The reason I brought up the Lucid was the whole recalls and stuff like that. But the reason I brought it up is to say that it happens, right? Like, I mean, we don't have to freak out every single time Tesla gets a recall. And you got to wonder, though, if the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, I can never get the acronym properly for that, you got to wonder if they're not targeting Tesla a little bit by all these recalls. And what's her name? Is it Mitzi or Missy that excluded herself from it? But Darren puts out here at Drive Tesla Canada puts out a good article, I think it was yesterday or today, saying the Tesla fixes 37% of recall via software updates, which leads the auto industry, and which that number in itself is interesting. But if you scroll down here, Darren's articles are so amazing. Like I don't know where he got this from. I'm sure it credits it somewhere, and it probably says he finds this chart of all the big auto manufacturers: Ford, GM, VW, Chrysler, BMW, Nissan, Hyundai, and Tesla. And look at and it's a little bar graph here chart, and it shows the amount of green is where you have to physically take the car in, and red, if you can see that on your screen for everyone watching at home, is the over the air. And here you can see out of the 19 recalls, 7 of them, or 37%, were done over the air. You look at Hyundai, which was surprising to have 1%. I didn't think they would. But what was even more surprising was GM and Chrysler. They actually had 1% too. I didn't even think GM owned a computer to actually have a software update.
Come on, Mary's leading.
That's for like a 2-year span?
Yes, 2 years.
Looks like January 1, 2020 to February 2022.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Look how many Ford has and all the other ones, and you don't really see them in the news, right? Like I have a Ford Mustang, and before that I had a Ford Escape who constantly had recalls, and you don't see that in the news.
Exactly.
No ad clicks there.
Do you know how many recalls? But you know what? It and like I said, it was misleading. I even had friends and family and coworkers ask me just last month. They're like, "What's with all these Tesla recalls?" And they don't even own a Tesla. They were just wondering because every day they turn on the news, they see it. And I had to explain to them, like, listen, half of them, and I didn't know with 37%, but at the time I used the term, half of them aren't truly recalls, and the industry is using the terminology of recall incorrectly. And it could go back to that whole using the terminology because they don't have the new technology that they have new terminology to apply it to. You know what I mean? Like Paul was saying earlier. So it could be that, but
someone on Twitter did. The article came out for the Rolling Stop one. I commented on the guy who actually wrote it, the Associated Press, and then someone on that commented saying that anytime the NHTSA makes a demand for a safety issue, it's considered a recall. So they have to use the word recall. But like I said, it's antiquated and it should be changed, right? It just gives the buyers like a different impression.
And don't get me wrong, some of them are in my opinion, justified. Like the heat pump. Oh, I just said it. Sorry. As I was saying.
Stacks. How do we kick him out of this?
Take a drink.
But that is a viable recall. I'm trying to think. There was maybe one other one that there was. But while I was looking at this article and before the show, did some research. You guys may know. So maybe this wouldn't be a fair game. I was going to turn it into a game for you guys, but you probably just spoil it right off the bat and ruin my game. So I'll just tell everyone at home. in the last 4 months, Tesla has had 10 recalls. Did any of you guys know that?
I knew about
Would
4 of
my
them.
Okay, so I should have played the game. Damn it! But yeah, 10 recalls in the last 4 months.
Let's play now, Dax. Ask the question.
You're no fun. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It just irks me when you hear all these people talking about, oh yeah, Tesla recall, and then you know what? It's a funny thing. I don't know. I don't have the page up, but I did a search. What search did I do? I did a search for Tesla. Oh, you know what? It was this recall one. I did a search. Here it is. I gotta show it to you guys. Let me just pull it up. I'm winging it here, guys. But you got to see this. All the people at home, if you're watching this,
Make sure you cover your open browsers.
no, it's okay.
Not safe for work?
No, I think it's okay. Come on. Bear with
You
me.
get it.
It's not that thumbnail that Franklin made for you, is it?
Okay, so I did. I did this.
You should have totally used it. Sorry.
I did this search for Tesla recalls in a month. That's how I was trying to find out what it is. And you know how Google does this? People also ask and do the suggestion thing. Look at the top 4. Is there a recall on Tesla? Okay, well, that's because Tesla was in the search field. Recall was in the search field. The second one is, why are Tesla cars so unreliable? Like, this is what people are searching for. That's as a Tesla owner, that's troubling and embarrassing. The third one is, do Teslas have a lot of issues? I mean, I don't know. I found that when I saw that, I thought, oh.
I think the reason why is because there's just so many articles being written. That's why you're seeing this, right? So I think that's how Google's algorithm works. So you've got a number of articles being written, way more than any other company. So that's unfortunately a byproduct of it, but it's very misleading, right? If you look at that chart that you just showed a couple of minutes ago, Tesla's more reliable than all the other vehicles in that chart in terms of recalls, right?
Yeah, it's just the clickbait aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
It's the media and their sensationalism, right? I mean, I don't want to get a war on media here, but sometimes it's the mainstream media. It's sometimes crazy what they write.
Yeah, just going back to that article about the rolling stop sign feature. In the actual article, it mentioned the crash in Texas that 2 people died, which had nothing to do with autopilot or rolling stop signs, but it was in the article for some reason, right? So
see that, and that's just an uneducated.
And it's just
writer.
very misleading.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Pravda? You know, Elon's he was going to have this. He was calling it Pravda, and it was going to be a source of truth of some sort. Do you guys don't remember that?
Well, like his
Check
own
me here.
media?
Am I making this up?
Like his own media company?
Something like that. Come on, there's got to be someone else that rememers this.
I remember
I'm
him
gonna
talking
Google
about
it
something
right
like that, but
now.
I don't remember that by name. There's someone in the chat.
Elon Musk Pravda.
Show us
Oh,
your
and
screen.
he spelled it Pravduh.
Oh, it must have stood for something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It must have stood for something. Okay, moving right along.
It was a site to rate reporters.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yes. I think that he should do that, for God's sakes.
Guys, I got a question for you before we go on. People listening at home or people in the chat, just disregard us for a second. We're just gonna ask these guys a personal question. Guys, what are you guys doing April 7th?
Preparing for
Party
my birthday.
attacks?
No, I'm just kidding. No, that's our next article. We're talking about the Gigafest in Austin on April 1st. I mean 7th. I mean what day was it? It was 7. 7. That's right. It's updated. It was the 1st, and then it changed to the 7th. Did anyone? Okay, before we go any further, let me ask you guys: did anyone really believe, other than Noah, that it was April 1st?
Wow, what just
And
called that
I'm
out.
saying this. I was going to say I'm saying this to the poor guy. He's not even here to defend himself. But Noah and I are buddies, so he knows. Just like if Noah like banged his knee, I would be on the floor laughing.
I mean, Elon doesn't joke around, so anyone would believe it, right? He says April 1st.
No, he never jokes around.
No.
See, right
So
there, it
we're
says
going.
April.
Are we all going as a group? Is that what we're saying?
I'd love to go, but
Paul, if you're
I
in,
can't
I'm
see
in.
it.
I'm in. Let's do it.
You flying? You want to do a fun road trip?
Screw that. I'm driving.
All right, let's do it.
Dan,
Yeah, let's do it.
Dan,
I don't know.
Paul,
call
you
it
need a
6
stay
o'clock?
while you're there because I got one.
Do I need a what?
You need a stay while you're there because I got one for us. You wouldn't have to book nothing.
For all 4 of us
Yeah,
and everyone else in the chat, like
whoever wants to
John.
come. It's my buddy's place. I just sent him a text. Open your door. I'm here. I'm not joking.
In Austin. Cool.
Yeah.
Ethan, the hockey dad, like all these guys can come for us.
Yeah, why not? More the merrier. My friend would be having a ballistic fit when he opens up his door and realizes like there's 50 people there, like ready to hang out at his place. But not my problem.
Raymond,
That's his.
Martin. Okay, well, just put his address in for us so we can get it. And
Paul's gonna show up
share your screen.
in his Rivian truck.
Yeah, I don't. It's actually the R1S. To be clear, it's not the pickup truck. It's the SUV one. But I doubt I will have it by April the 7th. I wouldn't do that.
You don't know you won't have it.
Oh, I definitely 100% won't have it before April the 7th.
Well, you never know. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, I mean, if you got it, it'd be cool. You know what? Let's take a pause. Does anyone else want to talk about? Okay, let me ask you this before we move on. Before we pause from this.
We got a question in the comments.
Yep.
Paul.
Yes.
Do you want to carpool and cuddle with me at Superchargers?
What would be different about last week?
In Texas.
Hey, we don't want to relive Paul's memories here, where the cops are pulling up and. Dax is like, what's going on with my podcast?
By the way, I was going to say, did anyone notice my ceiling is like the constellations and it's changing colors and everything? I thought I'd make it.
Did you get that Samsung thing or what?
No. It's not. It's
Dax
one of my kids. Dax money. No, it's one of my kids' little laser light for their bedroom that they brought down here and never took it back upstairs. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like it.
Yeah. Shiny objects. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Franklin, you're not doing your job.
Squirrel.
We were talking about Texas and Little Spoon and Big Spoon, right? Is that what we were talking about?
Cowboys and Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, you didn't go there, did you? You did. Oh, way to ruin a podcast, Dan. No. Okay. Okay. I can't even compose myself now. I'm going to go to this. Let's go back to this. What I was going to ask, and I'll pause myself while I laugh on the floor, and you guys answer this. Is this going to be like an invite only, like an event, typical event, or is this going to be open for everyone, like Berlin had for their like big carnival thing?
Supposedly it is invite only because someone asked about Texas, and Elon said Texas residents would get priority.
Yeah, and then didn't he say something about invites are going to be going out?
I don't remember that, but that's what part I heard.
We'll crash the party. What's the big deal?
There was a tweet.
Yeah.
But you know what? People go.
Yeah.
When we were at the Cybertruck one, there was a lot of people that went just for the pre-party gatherings and meetups and everything like that weren't actually going to the event, didn't have an invite or something. But that was just as fun. These impromptu or organized events and meetups and stuff like that, and lunches and dinners and stuff like that were all before the actual event. And I remember seeing some people that didn't even have tickets for the event. So it happens, right? And if history repeats itself, or the saying goes, if it comes true to life, everything happens bigger in Texas, so it should be a big, huge thing. I wish I could
be like
go.
out of control.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. It could be. I don't know. Before we go any further, I forgot to do your suggestion, Franklin, which was talk about the announcement. And I know we're 50 minutes in, and I apologize. We got into the news and everything. I was actually going to take you up on your suggestion and do the announcement like right off the bat, but it's an announcement. If anyone's on Facebook, that's in my Facebook groups for the Canadian Model Y or the Canadian Model 3 groups. It's not an announcement because you guys probably already know if you follow it on a daily basis. But there is going to be, and poor Jeff gave me a whole spiel to read, but I don't have it handy, so I'm just going to ad lib. Basically, there's two guys. Anyone that's
I think he's on the chat there. Sorry.
Oh, he is. Jeff is.
Jeff?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a joke there somewhere. Jeff is in Halifax, and I'll tell you who Jeff is, and I'll tell you who else is not with Jeff now, but will be Jeff. Will be with Jeff. Jeff is a Canadian that lives in the Greater Toronto area, and he's watched Trevor and Ian, and everyone that knows Tesla knows Trevor and Ian, Trevor Page, and Ian Pavelko. A couple years ago, they did a trip. They were just bored one day and they got in a car and they just drove, sort of like Forrest Gump, but the Tesla version. They just drove from one end of Canada to the other end, and they did it in a record time of some sort. And that was great. And we followed along. Any Canadian Tesla enthusiasts or EV enthusiasts that followed saw that was a good trip. And it was actually dramatic. They had some drama going through and beginning and starting and everything. And I don't want to ruin it. Trevor and Ian tell the story 10 times better. And then just last year, another couple of buddies, not of mine, a couple of buddies, like two guys that knew each other, did the exact same trip. I think they did they did the route a little differently, and they did it in a Audi. Was it an Audi? Yeah, it was an Audi. Was it an Audi? Now I'm second guessing myself. It was either an Audi or a Jaguar, but I want to say Audi, another EV, and they did it in a good time too. So I guess Jeff was thinking, you know what? I want to try it. So Jeff found somebody crazy enough to do it with him by the name of Cyril. And I don't know if anyone who follows the channel and seen a couple of my videos and seen a couple of my podcasts where I've actually had Cyril on. Cyril is a Tesla, an ex-Tesla technician. He was one of those mobile techs, and he was in our area, at least here in the Greater Toronto area. He was somewhat of a famous guy. Like if you ever got lucky enough to get Cyril to come to your house to do a mobile fix or something like that, he's such a charismatic guy and such a knowledgeable, smart guy with Teslas too. So he's going on the trip, and I think who better than somebody that knows a car inside and out? Heaven forbid if anything was to happen, right? So the two of them are going on the trip, and they're going right now, as Jeff says, he's in Halifax. And I'm sorry, Jeff, that if you're listening, that I'm butchering your story here or your intro, but they're doing it now. The way they're doing it is going to be a little bit different. I don't think the other two attempts were actually I think they were coast to coast, but they weren't from end to end in terms of Jeff and Cyril are going to the furthest east part of Canada, which is St. John's, Newfoundland, on the island, on the ferry, going all the way to the west coast, grabbing the ferry. So I think you'll have to delete ferry time because that's like a 6-hour trip. And then they're going to end up in Nova Scotia, and then they're starting their trek from Nova Scotia, going all the way west. Then they're going all the way to Vancouver Island. So I'm pretty sure Ian and Trevor didn't do the islands. So they didn't do coast to coast. And if you guys did, and my memory fails me, I apologize, guys. But that's the difference as far as I know that they're doing. And I think when the the other guys that did it just last year, the Audi guys, I think they went off the Trans-Canada Highway and they had to take a detour. These guys are going to stay on the Trans-Canada the whole entire time. Now, keep in mind, Newfoundland doesn't have any superchargers, so they're going to be doing it with regular public chargers, Chatamo or CCS. So it'll add time, but they're getting quite a bit of publicity already. They haven't even started yet, but apparently CBC will be not following them, but be in certain parts and places to see their route and their progress. And I don't know if I should be saying this. Jeff did tell me, yeah, it was an Audi e-tron. And they did St. John's to Victoria, but there was some difference that they were doing. You know what? There's something else, but I'm not sure if I should be saying it, and I don't mean to trigger you guys, and I apologize, so I'll just leave it at that. There's one other part that if it comes true, will make it record breaking. Let's just say record breaking. If
you're gonna do it on one charge,
yeah, turtle mode the whole way. No,
it'll be on FSD beta.
No, if you get it right, I'll tell you. But no, it's not going to be FSC beta. But I don't think it's a secret. But just in case it is, or because in case it doesn't work out, I don't want to spill the beans. So Jeff's laughing at me. But so yeah, that's the big announcement. We're having another Canadian record, and I apologize to anyone to any of our non-Canadian listeners if I'm boring you. I apologize. But this is a big thing because once again, it shows these guys are doing it in the dead of winter, which is the most challenging time. And if it could be done now, we all know. I mean, anyone that's on the panel or listening, we're not the ones that need to be converted. It's the rest of society that needs to be converted, right? Which seems to be quickly happening by the looks of the transition to EVs. But it'll be a fun thing. Now, stay with the channel because throughout their trip, and I think they're starting next week. It all depends on the ferry schedule. So they're either starting near the end of the month, the 28th, or they're starting the beginning of March. The date exactly isn't to be determined, but once it does, follow me on Twitter, and I'll keep you guys updated. They've got a live tracker that they're going to be showing you so you can follow their progress as they go along. They're going to have a GoFundMe page. You know what? I don't have the page for the GoFundMe, or I don't have the link for the GoFundMe, but if you guys want to support them, because they're doing this all on their own dime, which they're not expecting any money, but if you guys want to throw them some bucks, they've got some cool sponsors. Our this channel, Tesla Talks, is one of their sponsors of their attempt, and he's telling me now there's no secret, so I might as well tell you. So just so I don't trigger anyone or piss anyone off, the other thing that they're doing on top of the CBC is they're getting the Guinness Book of World Records to record this trip. So
very cool.
It really cool. Could be record breaking, which will be a big thing. So we'll see how that goes with the Guinness Book thing, because it's, as far as I know, it's not official yet. But the trip is still official, and Jeff is in Halifax right now, and Cyril is what's tomorrow? Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, I have to drop Cyril to the airport in the morning. I just forgot.
Right now?
No, not now, but in the morning. I actually.
All right, that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening.
I totally forgot. Guys, can you take it over? No, it's in the morning. Cyril, don't worry. If Cyril's listening, his heart's skipping a beat right now. It's like, this son of a gun. He's so unreliable. But so yes. You hope what?
I sure hope their heat pump doesn't fail.
Oh, Dan.
Listen, my HP is fixed.
Oh no, yeah, I realized you said the word, and I realized Paul had the little circumvent workaround, which is good. But just the whole fact that Dan, you would jinx him like that. Come on, don't do that to the guys.
Well, but Cyril's going, so it'll be okay. He'll know how to fix it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about we'll get off. We've got a couple more topics. Okay, we weren't talking about that anymore. We'll finish that one. Premium connectivity. Or the annual subscription. You guys, I don't know if you heard about this or if if you like it or you think it's a good thing. But basically, in a nutshell, Tesla, it was found in one of the app scripts just a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago that it was coming, because lo and behold, when these new updates come out to the apps, there's always people out in there that are going through the code and finding all these little hidden gems. And someone found, the opportunity or the planning that Tesla was going to put an annual subscription. Right now, the premium connectivity and FSD, and correct me, is there anything else, guys, that is monthly? Right now, it's just monthly. You pay on monthly. But someone had suggested to Elon a little while ago, can you do a yearly subscription? And he said, sure. And good thing with Elon and Tesla is like they listen to their customers. And right now we have the premium connectivity in a monthly thing down in the US. Wow. It's probably going to come to Canada soon. So just like most of these subscriptions, these online subscriptions, it's usually based around, they take 10 months and they call it a year. So you get a couple months free. Tesla's no different. Instead of paying $9.99 a month, now you pay $99.99 a year. So you get a couple months free. Rumor is FSD is good. Yeah, FSD is going to go that way, and that'll be good. Like if you want FSD for a full year, then yeah, sure, go ahead. And so down in the States, what is it? $199? It's $200, right? Yeah. So okay. So
yeah, I think so.
So instead of $2,400, paying it every month for a whole year, you'll get it for $2,000. You save yourself $400.
And in Canada, that'd be like $3,000.
Yeah, but see, once again, I don't want to tell anyone plus the dreaded tax. I don't want to tell anyone what to do, but I don't know. Maybe other than Vancouver, I don't know if FSD is worth getting for a full year here in Canada with our climate. That's just me.
So I think I'm the only one. No, actually, Dan, you have lifetime too, right? You have FSD.
I have it some for what? Premium connectivity?
Well, you have FSD. Paul, you have FSD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both cards.
So it's only, so you're right. Only Dax with the FSD subscription.
Yeah. It would only be me that would be getting the subscription, yeah.
I'll let you use my car for the FSD beta videos, Dax.
Yeah. I told them the same thing.
Thank you.
Premium connectivity, do you guys pay for it?
I don't.
I just started.
Oh, it's been a year already.
1 year's up. Yeah.
I was in that group where I had mine's the SR Plus, so it only came for like a year or 30 days, and then it stopped, and then all of a sudden it started working again, and it was all for free.
Nice.
Oh, so you have it, but you don't have to pay.
No. Like I think it was like last October, November of last year, a bunch of Canadians all got it for free.
Really?
If Tesla's listening, don't just ignore that.
But I'll definitely do the annual instead of the monthly. Because
premium connectivity is a really good deal, especially for where we live. I did the research once for one of our older podcast videos. I don't have the data on hand, but it's like dirt cheap what Tesla's charging for premium connectivity.
Yeah.
Considering it's AT&T roaming in Canada.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, on that same note, Paul, fun fact, it's actually cheaper to buy where was it? I think it's France. So if you buy a cell phone number in France, it's cheaper to pay for the roaming in Canada and use that as your number than it is to buy one locally. But it only lasts for like 6 months before they shut you down, right? So I was reading all these people online trying to figure out how to keep it longer than 6 months because it's like vastly cheaper to pay for roaming. It's crazy what we pay, but anyway.
It is crazy.
No, keep talking amongst yourselves. It's a good conversation.
Yeah. So it's so Dax, you are going to have to pay for premium connectivity too, right? Did you get 30 days or 1 year?
No, I got 1 year. So at the end of May. And you know what? I'm up in the air because I got so much data on my phone that I may just I say this now, but I may just tether it to my phone.
Though, isn't it?
But yeah, I was going to say, I say it now, but will I want to do it every single time? It may become a pain. But also, we do have that new update. Well, not new, an update that happened back last year where it automatically reconnects when you're off Wi-Fi or onto Wi-Fi when you're off LTE, don't we? I haven't tried it out. I guess I'll know at the end of May, but I thought that we had some kind of update last summer where
it'll keep the wireless on.
Yeah,
I've tethered my phone a couple times to do a software update while I was at work on from the phone, and it worked, but it doesn't connect it. It doesn't reconnect it. So I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just want to point out, John said in the chat that the data plan, if you paid for it on AT&T, would be over $100 a month.
Whoa. Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah. Any other questions in the chat there, Franklin? While we got through our questions.
What kind of discount do you think you should get, Dex?
For what?
And then I believe at the context, it might have been for the FSD package, possibly for a year.
What kind of? Oh, discount. Oh, well, it should be the 10-month thing, just like it is in the States and just like it is on most online subscriptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it hard to believe. I find it really weird that I know it's a lot more money. It's 10 times or 20 times more the amount. But if they did it with the premium connectivity, why would they not do it with FSD at the same rate?
Oh, he's saying premium connectivity. So basically, to answer your question, John, it's
sorry.
10 months. Yeah. He brought up something else. Do we pay for hotspots here? Because I don't pay for it on my plan and never have.
To pay for a hotspot?
Yeah, because I know in the States, certain carriers do charge for hotspotting ability.
Oh, well, no, no, we don't, to answer your question right off the bat. But I remember when I was on Rogers, I still am on Earth, when hotspotting first came out on the iPhone, Rogers actually charged you to do it. But then that quickly, I think after like a few months, if not a year, or maybe more, it went away. It just included in the data plan.
Because I know that they tried to charge me, but they couldn't figure out whether it was actually hotspotting or not because of my Android. Like no, I'm being serious. You can't tell.
Yeah, because they can't tell, or
you can route the traffic in a special way that's no different than normal traffic, right? So I think at a certain point they said, "Screw it."
Screw this guy is screwing this.
I've got to. I apologize. I need to drop.
That's fine.
My wife needs help with something. So
okay.
Sorry about that, Dax. And thank you very much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
No problem. Never need to apologize. I appreciate your time on, and if you have to go at any given time, even at the last minute, feel free. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, buddy.
Good to know.
And we'll talk to you in like 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
See, that's want to tell before you go? You want to tell everyone where they? Nope. I guess not.
He's gone. Electric.
I will tell you. Yes, Electric Canuck. You can find him on Twitter, and YouTube. Right? Am I missing anything for Paul? Okay, there you go. Yeah. Where he talks about mainly his Tesla, but when he gets his Rivian and all other EVs, he'll talk about that kind of stuff. So Paul's gone. That's unfortunate. We're gonna wrap this up in 10 minutes. Do you guys have any Tesla news stories of the week that you want to personally share with us before we move to the question period? Dan,
we'll put you on the spot. Go ahead.
No,
you don't have to. If you don't, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay.
Let me get back to you.
Yeah, okay, you can get back to me if you do.
Like one of those Tesla stories. Is that what we're asking?
Yeah, if you have one. If you have anything notable that's happened in the last, I used to say week because we used to do this weekly, but even in the last month since the last time you were on, I mean, it doesn't have to be, and you don't even have to share with us. Like, I mean, it could be all personal, and you feel violated by talking about it. That's fine.
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah. So I was driving with Aaron Monday. We're gonna go get some food, like we usually do. You know, just a normal Monday. His car experienced phantom braking. But it was the weirdest phantom braking I've ever seen the car do, and him as well. We actually discussed it. So the car just randomly slammed on the brakes, like, you know, phantom braking normally does for no reason. But it actually beeped like crazy, but there was no error message on the screen. So you know when like the wheel takeover thing pops up, and you get that like alert sound? So imagine that with the phantom braking, but there was no alert on the screen.
I think I've got that before. I think I got that before. Did it come out of autopilot?
No, it's staying in autopilot the entire time.
Okay, because I've had
Yeah.
that before, if I remember correctly, where I think the system just crashed and it came out of autopilot and it beeped. Nothing came on the screen because it crashed, but it beeped and it came out of autopilot for safety. And by coming out of autopilot, it didn't phantom brake, but when it came out of autopilot, I didn't have my foot on the accelerator, so it just regen braked.
Yeah.
But set up your situation. Like, where were you and how fast were you going? And
Well, I wasn't driving. Aaron was.
yeah, I know.
He was doing like 100 on the 401.
Oh, so okay, so you're on the highway.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, night or day?
Nighttime.
Good weather conditions.
Yeah, perfect weather conditions.
Yeah, that's weird.
Car was clean, everything, and it was so bizarre because him and I both discussed it. We're like, "Wow, that's so weird." Like, we were both really shocked that it happened. You know what I mean? Like, because we both use autopilot a lot, and it's different if you're just driving your car and it's something like that happens to you. But like when you have two Tesla owners in the same car, it's like, wait a second, what did we just experience here, right? So, kind of a weird one.
Yeah. I know. Speaking of phantom braking, that was one of the other things I was thinking of when we were on that topic 20 minutes ago about recalls. Phantom braking, that's a recall. And I think that's a warranted one because I think that should be really addressed. Listen, I'm not saying that I could write code for autonomous driving. So I'm not saying that. I'm not criticizing them. But it's something that has been plaguing people way too long that Tesla should have fixed by now or addressed it and come out and tell us why it's happening or what they're doing to fix it. Or if they can't fix it right now, like deactivate it until they get better.
The reason why it happens, I forget who. I showed you that tweet actually. There's a tweet that shows what the actual car can see in terms of like object-based stuff. And
I know, but I want them to come out and tell us.
Well, yeah, but the objects kind of come in and out. And Elon's tweet about a month and a half ago, he said they want to put in like spatial memory. Basically, they want to basically remember spatial. I think he worded it.
Huh.
Like, anyway, he wants to put in little memory things. So if it sees an object up ahead, currently that object can come in and out of the camera view, the way the car detects it. But if the car knows the object's there and it temporarily remembers it, you're going to get a lot less phantom braking in theory. So whenever that happens, it should be substantially better.
The day can't come soon enough because I just put out a quick YouTube short a couple weeks ago, showing it was the newest version 4.5, showing that testing. Well, I want to see for myself, and I recorded it. If phantom braking was still there in a certain situation, not on the highway, because I don't get phantom braking on the highway anymore. I get it only on single lane roads, which is called a 2-lane road, which is one way going one way and another lane going the other way. And it's undivided, so there's no median or anything. It's just a yellow painted line that separates the roadway. And I only get it when anything like a pickup truck, and sometimes, and it's with the pickup truck, it's not always. It's if it's a regular size pickup truck, like a full size, I don't always get it. But if it's a big pickup truck, like a heavy duty, like a 350 or a dually or something, or a tow truck, or anything bigger than that, like a cube van or a tractor trailer, definitely I'll get it with those. So it's a very unique scenario where I'll get the phantom braking. And I put out that video, and some guys like, oh well, you're using it wrong. You shouldn't be using it on city streets. It's not meant for city streets.
How fast are you going?
I had some choice words for him, by the way. And it only phantom brakes if you're got nobody in front of you. If you got somebody in front of you, it won't phantom brake.
How fast are you going, sir?
Sorry, I was going 70
in a 50.
In a 60. No, because you can only go 10 over in Canada, right? Yeah.
Like I've noticed
too,
is like
higher.
No.
Not certain roads. There's a little glitch in the limitation, but for the most part, I'd say 80% of the city streets, it's 10
Not
over.
in my city.
Well, welcome to your city.
No, I'm not trying to be
that really
jerk or anything. I'm just saying,
there's some parts in Burlington that you can go way over.
I'd say like 80% of the like parts I drive on, I can put it to whatever I want.
Yeah, some parts of Mississauga you can too. It's hit or miss, but like I said, it's probably like a like I said, maybe not even 80, maybe 75% of the times.
Dan, did you have Go ahead.
So I've never encountered the oncoming phantom braking. Usually I just get it when like an on-ramp on the highway when cars are merging in. It's the only time I get it. Yeah.
See, I don't get it on highways anymore. Like when I say anymore, when I had my Model 3 with the radar, yeah. And back in the day before the autopilot software was fully baked, in my opinion, I think now on the highway, it's solid.
No. Lost my light. Well, it's not all the time. It's just like a couple. I don't know if it's phantom braking or the car is just trying to let the other person in, and it's just braking heavily to do it.
It could be that because I know the whole part of autopilot and full self-driving, it's very courteous to other cars around them. But I mean, I had somebody else in my Facebook group a couple days ago mention that they're getting a lot of phantom braking on the highway, on the 401, which is a major highway here in the Toronto area. That it was phantom braking a lot through Mississauga, and that's a suburb outside of Toronto for people that don't know. And everyone started commenting, saying, "Well, that's because it's major construction with lane changes, and they've moved the highway over like 100 feet to the north, and the maps haven't, even though we have updated maps now for the most part, don't reflect that." So if I look at half times when I'm on that highway and I look at my map, it shows that I'm driving on the grass. Like it doesn't show that I'm actually on the highway anymore. So in situations like that where it's in the construction zone, you got to give the software some slack because it doesn't know. It thinks you're on an off ramp, and it slow you down to 40 if you're not careful.
And Rob makes a good point on the chat there. It's probably just a radar issue.
Thanks, Rob.
No. He said it happens to only non-radar vehicles.
I know. See, I knew, even though Dan misread it, I knew exactly, because I know Rob, and I know exactly what he was trying to get to.
I don't disagree with him. Raymond said, Dax, hopefully you can get the question that he emailed you.
Yeah, I'm going to get to
just before we do that, there's one other question in the chat that I want to address because it's actually kind of a fun one.
I've got you, Raymond. Don't worry.
Yeah, Kenneth said, opinions on the Tesla dev team working on Steam integration. What do you guys think?
Waste of time. Next question.
Well, it depends how many people they have working. Like if it's a completely separate entity, then sure, fine. But if it's taken away from FSD, then yeah, waste of time.
So there's a huge misconception. The FSD team is only like 24 people. It's a couple of dozen. They have an infotainment division, which works on this kind of stuff. And for them to actually port over Steam isn't that complex now because Steam's gone really Linux heavy and Tesla is Linux heavy. So
Didn't
it makes
you
a
get
lot of
Steam
sense.
to work in your car?
No. I got a lot of stuff to work in my car, but not Steam. Not natively anyway. But my point being is like they can definitely work on it without taking away from other things. And I think it's actually like a really good direction for them to go. I like the Steam direction.
Could they subscribe? I'm not familiar with Steam, but could Tesla charge a subscription fee for it? Or do you pay Steam?
You generally pay Steam, and Steam takes a percentage. Which, truthfully, I mean, if you're Tesla, you'd ideally want to start up your own app store, so you take your own percentage, which would make more sense. But all games are on Steam, and if you've already bought it, you're going to usually play you're not going to buy the same game for your car that you already have on your Steam library, so you want to be able to transfer it. So it makes more sense. But it shouldn't be a lot of people developing that, and it should just work. So,
oh, we can see you. So yeah, I wasn't trying to be rude to John asking that question. Was it John that asked about Steam?
No. I'd have to scroll back up.
Okay, whoever it was, I wasn't being rude. I just my opinion on games in the car are unique. I don't believe that. I think they're just wasting your time. Yeah, like Dan says, if they have a different, if they had it. No, my kids love it. It's just, I don't know. I just get some stuff working first, like main things, parts of the software that you're either charging people for or touting. And then once that's all done and and stuff like that, then you can do the gravy afterwards.
Even if it's separate teams?
But the thing is, you can take those guys, yeah, even if it's separate teams, because you can take those guys and put them towards that. And then
No,
once
you
it's
can't.
finished,
They're different things. Like one's like autonomy, and the other one's just like running code, right?
no, I don't mean the exact same guys, but I mean like you can hire, if you've got a budget, you can hire people for that team. And then once it's finished, either, I don't know, I'm sure you can keep them, and then hire a new team for the game stuff. That's my opinion.
I think they're good to go with the games because if it goes towards that the online store, then it's a revenue stream for them, right?
Yeah, we lost Franklin.
They lose Franklin.
Yeah, he. It looked like he froze when he wasn't saying anything, and I thought maybe he was just doing that dramatic pause. But then I'm like, he's still not moving or saying anything. So I wasn't surprised to see him drop off. He'll come back, I'm sure, unless there's something I said. Maybe he's really offended by my Steam stance, and maybe he won't come back. And then in that case, it's just you and I, buddy.
There you go.
I've got 2 questions, and I apologize to people in the chat if you've asked a question and I haven't got to it. I'll look around and see if I can find it, and if I can, I'll put it up. But usually Franklin helps me out in that respect. Okay, so I'll just get these 2 questions and then I'll wrap it up because I know Dan's got to go. Where are the questions? And the reason I want to get to these questions, guys, is because these guys took the time to email me like probably 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, and I told them I'd get it on. So this first question is from Miguel. Let me get it bigger here so I can read it. He says, hi, I love listening to podcasts regularly, although he lives very, very far away from Canada. He says his question is he lives in Puerto Rico. Tesla opened doors here about 2 years ago, give or take. He purchased a model. Okay, hold on. Franklin is back. Let me just pause my thing here and bring Franklin back. There you go. Welcome back, Franklin.
Sorry.
I'm just in the middle of the question from Miguel, and then I'll get to Raymond's question. So he purchased a Model Y, long range 2021 with FSD, but in that moment they didn't have on the Tesla website that a lot of other features that were not available in the region yet. So basically the stuff that's available in, I guess, US and Canada, probably more US, I guess, wasn't available in Puerto Rico. For example, he has FSD because he paid for it, but he doesn't have navigate on autopilot or traffic lights awareness, like, how the car will stop for traffic lights and stop signs. Do we have any idea when that'll be available, or is there a workaround that he can somehow get it before it's actually officially available? He says the cars that he got there were bought in the U.S. and he bought, I guess, of course, because I guess they don't have it in Puerto Rico. So yeah, I guess he had to ship it over there. And he thinks that the not having the FSD beta is unfair. I mean, Puerto Rico's, correct me if I'm wrong, my international geography may not be the best, but Puerto Rico is not part of the U.S. in some aspects.
It's a territory.
There you go. Okay. As I was saying it, I'm thinking maybe it isn't. I'm gonna look like a complete idiot. So I'm glad you agreed with me. So, guys, regarding Miguel's problem, he's got the FSD. He just wants to know, but he doesn't have the navigate on autopilot or the traffic lights. Do we know if any guys have been following Puerto Rico news?
He's not going to like my answer. It's probably regulation based, and there's not much you can do. The reason why the other cars are working because they're imported from the U.S. and they're U.S. cars, so that's why it works. So like, if you imported a U.S. car into Canada, we can technically get the beta right now that will function, but a Canadian car that we purchase will not work. So there's no real way to turn it on or activate it, unfortunately, unless the government regulations change.
Yeah, that's the one thing with Tesla is there's no hackability. I shouldn't say there's absolutely none, but you really got to know what you're doing in order to hack it. It's pretty hard to hack. Let's just say that.
Well, I guess the workaround is to buy a car in the U.S. and bring it over.
but I don't know. Would it be geolocked and it wouldn't
Well,
work?
that's what he says. That cars bought in the U.S. are working there, so it
Oh,
would
he says
work.
they are. Oh, that's what he said. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe I misread him.
and
I
that's why it's not
apologize.
really fair for him not to have it, right? Because
Oh, I did misread it then. Yes, I apologize, Miguel. Huh. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I think it's exactly what you said, Franklin. It's something that he's not. The answer is not what he's going to like. Moving right on to Raymond's question. Let me just pull it up here. Uh, Thanks for the question, Miguel. If you have any more, if anyone has questions that you can't think of right now, or you're listening to it on the audio version, or you're watching it on YouTube after the fact, email me at teslatalksquestions@gmail.com. teslatalksquestions@gmail.com, and I'll get it on just like I'm getting these guys on. So this is Raymond. He's asking. He's saying, "Hey, Dax, he loves the show." Now last night, here's a question he's got. He goes, winter road trips, do you prefer the Tesla Nav or a better route planner? That's one part of the question, I think. Also, what percentage of battery do you ideally want to arrive at for your charging stops? The lower percentage, the more efficient the charging is, but also the reduced range in the cold. Do you not want to be stranded 10%, 15%, or 20%? What do you think? Ray from
can I
Toronto.
answer that one?
Yeah.
So I went to Montreal on October, and I wanted to try out a better route planner. Now, I always think a better route planner is a good planning tool, definitely to like see what your trip will look like. And I never used it in the actual driving, so I tried to use it, and I found it wasn't like I even synced the car to the. If you use your app, you can sync your car, so it has the data
Live.
from the car.
Yeah.
And I think the first charger, it got like it was a good 20% difference off what Tesla said to what the better route planner said. So I didn't use it after that, but for planning, definitely it's a must use. And the other thing people notice is that you might not supercharge, they might not precondition for fast charging if you use a better route planner, but if you share to the car, it should do it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I planned everything, and it's great for planning, and maybe that's it's right in the name right there. It's great for planning, and we're planning a trip right now out east in the summer, and I'm using it a lot to see all the charging locations and trying to plan out our whole scenario. But I know I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I know that when I did it 2 years ago, we went down to Florida, and that was like a 26-hour drive within 2 days. I plotted it all out. I used it all, but I did find, just like you said, when you went to Montreal, I found that it was off a little bit. Now that was 2 years ago. Now I know the Better Route Planner has gotten a lot better since, and they give you a lot more variables that you can tweak, and you can actually, there's a slider in the settings where you can change it from less stops or more stops, and shorter stops or longer stops, like stuff like that. So which is good because when I had it 2 years ago, you didn't have that option, and I always found that a better route planner would want you to stop more frequently for shorter periods of time than the Tesla software.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla software wanted you to stop less times, but for longer periods.
Yeah,
So,
and I also noticed too. Answer the other part of the question is in terms of what range you want to get to. The Tesla Nav usually gets you around with 20%, which is not the best. You can probably go down to 10, and
yeah,
you have that you have the option, the better route planner, to you tell it what range you want, and it's 10%. So you have a better idea of how much actual energy you need to gain from that supercharger to get to your next trip.
As long as you're over 1%, you're fine.
Yeah, like 10's fine.
Yeah, you say that now, but when you got your family in the car, a long road trip, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and like Ray's saying here, like he's talking about a reduced range in the cold, right? Like the car will take that into account, and a better route planner does too if you put in the temperature. See, that's another problem I had when I was going down south to Florida, because where I started, I went in February. It was like -10, but as I got, like, I think when I basically hit North Carolina, it was in the pluses, and then I got to Georgia and Florida, it was like in the teens or in the 20s. So you have to adjust.
Maybe that's where the discrepancy comes from, because I figured syncing I don't know if when you sync to the car, is it grabbing that temperature setting as well, or do you have to change it manually? That could be what the difference was.
Yeah, maybe. I know. I'm pretty sure a better route planner, even though it's got the new updates now, because like I said, I've been using it quite a lot in the last week to try to plan out this trip out east. I don't see a setting. I see a setting for putting your temperature, your driving outdoor temperature, but it doesn't. I don't think it would change depending on where you're going. Luckily, we're going out east, so the temperatures in the summer is not going to be that
but
much difference.
I'm saying if it's syncing to the car, they're getting the battery numbers from the car. Like it should take the temperature from the car as well. But I don't know if it does or not.
It depends. Yeah, I guess it depends on the API. I don't know if it does. Do you know if it does, Franklin? Or do you?
It does, yeah. You can.
It does.
You can grab all that info. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Then you would think that it would put that in there. And
Yeah.
now, here's the thing, though. It would put it in there for when you're driving live, but when you're planning your route, like that's the whole purpose of this Better Route Planner. You're planning your route. It won't know it then.
No.
It'll ask you for your average temperature, and I guess you could put if it's going to be like anywhere between 10 degrees and 20 degrees, you can put the median, right? You can put 15. So,
I think if a feature request for Tesla would be to kind of have those filters in place so you can manage your route a little better, and that would definitely make Tesla the go-to.
That would be great. But to finish off and answering Ray's question about driving in the cold, yeah, it's gonna charge slower too. Like even within the car, when Tesla tells you it'll be 20 minutes, even though the car knows that it's minus 10 out, you'd think it would take that into account. I was just supercharging a couple days ago, and it said 20 minutes, and obviously it was cold out, so it took longer than 20 minutes. I think that time in the Tesla software in the car is ideal temperatures.
Have we covered this one? Because there's two other questions we can cover.
No, if we can do them quickly. When you left, I was apologizing to people because I haven't been paying attention.
Okay, I got you. I scrolled back up. I caught up.
Okay, perfect.
John said, will the 2020, 2021 Tesla have enough room or enough memory for all these apps? I believe it currently has 120 gigs or somewhere in that ballpark. That does not include the operating system, so I'm not sure how much the operating system takes up. Probably 10 gigs if I had to guess, just ballpark number. So you're probably left with about 110 gigs. John's follow-up question says, do you think we will run out of memory with all these games? So think of it kind of like your phone. You can install, uninstall. I imagine at some point they're not going to all be pre-installed by default and you get to pick. I do know that Tesla is actively looking at adding additional room through an external hard drive that you plug in. So to give you a parallel, it's really popular on console gaming. So I hate when you do this. If you have a PlayStation or Xbox, to get more room, you plug in an external hard drive and you get as much room as your hard drive holds. So I imagine Tesla's going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I've said this numerous times. I can't wait. I mean, for many reasons, but one of the main reasons I can't wait for the Tesla App Store is so I can take off the games that I don't want. I'm not an anti-gamer. Don't get me wrong. It's just, if I'm not using it, why would I want it on there? Because, yeah, sooner or later, with the amount of stuff on there, the space is going to be an issue in terms of what you have on there and what you don't have on there. That's what I think. I could be wrong. I don't want my system to start lagging.
I hope it's not verified developers only, because I'd love to develop stuff for it. Like I'd be like extremely active doing stuff.
Why couldn't you apply to be a verified developer?
Well, I totally could. It's just more work on my part. If they just made it open, then less work.
It's nothing for Google and Apple to become one, is it?
Apple's is more complex than Google. Google's really like developer friendly. Apple's not. I'm not saying it for any other reason. It's just how it is.
Yeah, they're just more stringent about it.
Yeah,
and I think if Tesla would have to be extremely stringent because you don't want some bad software getting in your car, right?
For sure. Do we have any other email questions, Dax?
No, those are the two that I wanted to get at.
You sure? I think there was a third.
Nope.
Don't open it. Don't open it.
No, I know what he's talking about, and I addressed this with you a month ago.
I thought it was funny.
Yes.
All right.
Anyways, yes. See, the email address there, folks, is not for abuse. It's for real, genuine questions. They are stringently, I don't want to go there because it's just going to add fuel to the fire and just encourage them even more. Anyways, folks, that brings us to the end of another show. It's been over an hour and a half. I apologize for that. But thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully we entertained you. Hopefully we educated you if we didn't entertain you, and entertained you if we didn't educate you. Join us here. We're going to do this again next month. I don't know exactly when, but follow me on Twitter, and I'll usually put it out a day or two before, or on Facebook. I usually try to put it out on Facebook when I think I missed this week or this month. But Dan, where can people find you? I know you got to go, so
Northern Tesla on Twitter and Northern Tesla on YouTube. I'm so close to the legendary 1,000 mark on YouTube, so if you can subscribe, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, Dan puts out very, very informative videos and tips and stuff like that. He just did one recently about the emergency tips, about which a lot of people don't know. Like, I mean, there's so many new Tesla owners out there. I guarantee you, I've heard from experience and from people that Tesla salespeople, when they deliver your car, they're not going to tell you where the emergency lock is to get out of your car in the event of a fire, like if you lose power or anything like that. They're not going to tell you that kind of stuff. So,
do you know who will? Dan
will.
Check out his video. YouTube channel.
Yeah. Franklin, where can people find you?
Exclusively on the Tesla Talks podcast.
No, you have your own channel. Don't be like that.
Mother Frunker on YouTube, M Frunker on Twitter. Just kind of taking a break though from stuff outside the podcast. Kind of working on a startup that should launch finally this year.
And then we'll have another big announcement on this channel, on this podcast.
Oh, it's not related to Tesla or anything, but.
And keep in mind, stick with the channel if you guys are listening or you're watching this later regarding that drive next week that those two guys are doing. I'm going to try to do some live updates and do some even pre-recorded updates and stuff like that next week as we go. So I know it won't be a podcast style, but if I can get these guys on live while they're driving, and I apologize, it may not be this time in the night. It may be, or it may not be in the daytime where you may see them. Like, I mean, if I do it in the night and they're driving, we could lose them if they're driving. The best thing to do is get them while they're a supercharger. So we'll see. It's so dynamic. I can't plan anything, but stay tuned to the channel. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and join us with their trip as it goes along next week, and wish them well. But thanks, guys. We will catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.